Hi, thanks for tuning in. Um, Today, what I want to talk about is, can self-esteem be improved? And I think I've touched on this before. I may have even had this as a title before, but I really want to emphasize that absolutely, yes, self-esteem can be improved. It's not something you're born with. It's not something that just happens. Self-esteem is something that takes work. And for some, it's easier than for others to build self-esteem. For some of us, it's a lot more difficult to build. It's kind of like looking at any professional athlete. Some just seem to have a talent for it, and some really have to work hard at it, but it is possible for anyone. So absolutely, self-esteem can be improved, and that's my entire mission, is to help people no matter where you are on the continuum, no matter where you are in terms of how you feel about yourself and where you fit in the world, that it can always be better. So that's what I want to focus on. And especially today, with everything that's going on and all the uncertainties and all the pretty much it feels like chaos that's going on. It's really important when all this stuff is going on outside to really focus on what's going on inside. So now is a really, really good time to focus on you and what you can do to help you feel better about who you are and where you fit. And another part of the self-esteem process is to be patient with yourself. To give yourself loving kindness. When you're feeling like you're having a down day, allow yourself to have a down day. It kind of drives me nuts when when someone says, God, I'm feeling down today, and someone says, oh, just feel better. Come on, just look at the things that are bright. One time I had a horrible thing happen. I lost one of my businesses, and I went to lunch with a friend, and I was really down. And I said, I'm just really having a rough time right now. And at the end of lunch, he said, maybe next time we get together, you'll be back to your old self. And I thought, oh, that's sad. I mean, let me be down right now. I deserve to have some downtime. So how I want my best friend to respond to that when I say I'm having a down day, it's like, hey, you know what? What can I do to help you out? Can I just sit here with you? Do you want some suggestions on what you can do to be better? Or you just want to kind of be here? I'll be here for you. So do that for yourself. Just be there for you and allow yourself to have your good days, your bad days, your up days, your down days. We're all going through this together. So look for ways, just little ways every day that you can find some gratitude, even when I'm having my down days, just to look for the gratitude that I do have, and look for things that are going to brighten your day. Don't sit in front of the TV for 4 hours watching all the breaking news of what's going on with the virus. Instead, look for ways to kind of divert yourself from negativity and look for some things to be positive about. And one of the things I keep hearing from people is, when are things going to go back to normal? And I've always disliked that word because normal is so subjective. For some people, I hear some people say, oh, he's so rich. And I'm like, well, he might not think he's rich, but it depends how you want to define rich. Do you own a house? Do you have a car? In some societies, just having your own house, you're considered rich. So it's such a subjective term. Healthy is such a subjective term. So normal is also one of those subjective terms. So what you saw as how your life was going is now shifting. And years ago, I used to work a lot with people who were early in recovery from addictions. And they would say, I just want to be normal again. And what I would help them to see is that what you're now going to be doing is creating a new normal. And the cool part about creating a new normal is that it's up to you. You get to create that for yourself. Now, what's going to happen when the dust settles after the whole virus thing? I have no idea. That's part of the uncertainty. But we get to all recreate ourselves with whatever the new normal is, with your work, with your family, with all the things going on in your life. Things are now different. So we can either roll with those differences and be like a reed in the wind, or be the oak tree that I just want things to be the way they were. The oak tree, when the strong wind comes, usually breaks. So we want to be the reed and kind of bend with the changes. And when it comes to self-esteem, the more self-esteem you have, the more you're able to adapt to whatever happens around you. So that's the whole goal of this. To be adaptable, to be okay with the changes, no matter what those are. And by taking care of yourself now, you're going to be better off in the future. So that's the whole goal here, is for you to be as happy as you can be with who looks back at you in the mirror, and to feel really good about where you fit. And you know what? You might not know where you're going to fit once this whole thing is over. And you know what? That's okay too. If you would have told me even 10 years ago that I'd be living in Orlando in this amazing neighborhood, doing programs like this, doing workshops, being a professional speaker, doing these kind of things, I would have said, what? No way, not where I am now. That's not what I want to do. That's not where I want to be. But because I kind of went with the changes and liked who I was the whole way through, as new opportunities came, I would just kind of go along with it and see where life would take me. And now I get to be here and I'm having a blast. I mean, right now, it can be a little tough sometimes, but I'm in a neighborhood. I get to walk a few times a day. I get to still do my online workshops. I get to do my online workouts. I get to spend a lot of time with my daughter, which I really enjoy doing. And you know, it's funny, the other day I was walking my dog around the neighborhood and I saw a family that I hadn't seen before, and we started talking from 6 feet away from each other. And I'm very into the whole social distancing thing. And it's social distancing is a respect for myself and a respect for those around me. Because we don't know what's happening with this virus. So to have that distancing, because the medical experts who are talking about this say that that's the best way to handle it right now. So until I hear different, I'll do it. And it's out of respect for others and respect for myself. So I'm walking around the neighborhood and I meet this new family and we're apart. And I was talking about what's it like working from home. And he said, you know, it's weird. I used to think that I had to go to the office every day, but I find that I'm even more productive at home than I was before. And she said, yeah, and the nice part is he's around and we can go take walks every day. So there are bright spots here that we can look forward to. And it'll be interesting to see what happens with the whole work at home versus work in an office and what's going to happen with that. I think there's going to be a shift there where more people are going to be like, you know what, I'll just work from home today. And I think that's going to be more acceptable later than it is now or was before. So it's pretty cool to see that happening and how happy they were that they got to do walks every day together with their little son too. Oh my God, he was so adorable. So it'll be interesting to see how things shift as we enter this new phase and define our own normal. So that's your task. So another thing that I want to suggest to you is to look for good. I said that a little earlier, but look for good things that are going on. Something that my mom and my wife told me about is this show that was on the internet. It's called Some Good News with John Krasinski. And he was surprising this 9-year-old girl who was looking forward to seeing Hamilton for her birthday, and she couldn't go because of everything going on. So he was able to surprise her with a song from the cast of Hamilton. And it was really cool. If you haven't seen it yet, look up Some Good News Hamilton and it'll come up in a Google search. But it's just really cool. And I like how John is kind of spinning this with the good news thing. And there is lots of it out there. So look for the inspiring, look for the good, look for ways to find the positive in what's happening right now. Because part of improving self-esteem is in looking more towards gratitude and the things that you have to look forward to rather than the things that you're missing and the things that you don't have. You know, perspective is all about where you want to shift your focus in the things you have or the things you don't have, the things you're grateful for, the things you're regretful for. So it's about shifting that and moving up that continuum to a higher level of self-esteem and away from ego, which has no place. Ego is just going to bring you down right now. You know, what is this going to do for me? And it's better to be involved with the self-esteem. And what does this mean for we? You know, I'm real big on we over me. And that's the self-esteem versus ego thing. And if we can focus on what can I do to help my family, what can I do to help my society, my community, then we're going to be much better off. So find gratitude, find the things that are going well. Look for examples of good. Be that example of good. You know, one of the things that happened today, I was on Facebook and I was just kind of looking around, and one of my friends posted something and I responded, and she was actually online. So I thought, you know what, I haven't talked to her in a few years. Hey, what are you doing? You want to talk? And we ended up talking for like a half an hour. And it was awesome to be able to catch up with her, find out what's going on with her kids, her grandkids, her parents. It was really cool to touch base and to connect. So use this as a time too to connect. You know, I look at, there are those people in my life who are like my A list that I'm really connected with and keeping in touch with. And then there's the B list of people where I love them and concerned about them and would be there for them in a heartbeat, but we don't really connect on a regular basis. So now is the time for me to connect with my B list. And it's been really fun to do that. And there are a couple other people that I'm planning to call and connect with. So it's been a lot of fun. And I'm finding that Zoom is such an awesome service to be able to use, and whether you're using Zoom or Skype or whatever, but we can find other ways of connecting. And you know what, I'll share this too, because this happened between last time I did one of these episodes and this time. A friend of mine back in San Diego was taking a cake for 38 years of sobriety. And he asked me if I would give him his cake at a virtual meeting. So we actually logged into the meeting at the same time, and I was able to give him his cake, which was so cool. And I loved it. And I got to see people that I haven't seen in decades. And it was really nice to connect with some folks. So look for ways to connect in new ways. In creating your new normal, look for ways that you can connect with people in a different way. And they're out there. You know, thank God we live in this day of technology where we can connect with people like people could not connect 50 years ago, 20 years ago. So let's take advantage of those things while we have them. So let's see, are there other things that I want to talk about? Yes. One of the things that I've also noticed is that a lot of people are living in fear right now. And I want to address that because we can get into the fear of what's happening right now and just let that grow and fester. Or we can be cautious and just do what we can to take care of ourselves and our family. But I find sometimes when we give into the fear and we lean into the fear, then that can get us off balance and can really be a detriment to building self-esteem. So part of your journey and what you're looking to do in feeling better about who you are and where you fit in the world is to kind of not give your fears as much energy as you would before. So is some fear okay? Absolutely. I'm not saying get rid of all your fear or pretend it's not there. You know, I'm very big into acknowledging your feelings and acknowledging what's going on with you. But again, not feeding it to the point where it becomes bigger and then overwhelming. So let it be what it is. Roll with it. You know, let it, like the tides come and go. You know, this is a great analogy and a way to look at it too. You know, I'm a scuba diver. It's one of my favorite things to do. And when you're swimming in an area where there's a lot of current, what you learn is don't swim against the current. The tide goes here and it goes there. So what you learn is if you're going this way, when the current's going this way, just let it take you. Then when it goes this way, swim. And that's where you make the headway. Then when it goes this way, rest. And then it goes this way, swim. Because otherwise, when you're going back, if you swim, all you're going to do is burn energy and you're going to get tired. So don't get caught up. And I remember one time I was diving, there was probably a 20-foot surge where I was taken back 20 feet and then forward 20 feet. And I was still new at diving and my first instinct was panic. And when it took me back, I felt so out of control that it was weird. And then I thought, okay, wait a minute. I'm safe. Nothing's going to happen. I can see the surface. It's a bit rough up there, but I'm okay. So I learned when it goes back, just treat it like a roller coaster. Woo! And then when I go this way, swim. Man, how fast I could swim. It was awesome. So life is going to feel like that sometimes. The tide goes out, the tide goes in. Swim with the current. Do not swim against the current. All you do is make yourself tired. So when that fear kind of rises and takes you back, let it be what it is. And then when it goes forward, find those things that feel safe to you, where you find comfort, where you find gratitude. And you're going to find that the fear will pass. You know, I heard one time that fear stands for false evidence appearing real. Now, is the virus real? Absolutely. But if we're staying at home and doing what we need to do, we don't need to let that fear grow bigger than what it is. Let it be there, but don't let it consume you. That's the hard part. So we can do this. We can do this together. And I'm fully confident in that. Our society, I talked about this last week, we've been through some rough times before, and we get through it stronger. And this will be the same thing. So I do wish you well. Before I check out today, I do want to do a shout out to Riley. You are awesome, and I appreciate your comment last week, and it was great to be able to see you. And I just wanted to give you a shout out. I really appreciate you tuning in and being a part of this, and you actually inspire me. So I want to thank you for that. So I wish you well. Stay safe. Stay happy, stay healthy, build your self-esteem. There are a lot of ways to do that. My workshop is on its way to being released online. As soon as that happens, I will definitely let you know. And I'm done for the day. So thank you very much for tuning in, and I hope to meet you one day down the road. And if you have any comments, definitely feel free to shoot me an email, make a comment on this video. I answer every comment and question that I get. So just know that you are heard. So thank you. Have a great day. Bye. Thanks for checking out the video. I hope you got something out of this. Feel free to click subscribe, ring the bell if you haven't already. And if you'd like more, you can click right here. All right, I hope to see you again. Take care. And if you have any questions at all, feel free to write to me, and I'm happy to answer them. Have a good one. Bye.